If your conditioning has you crawling out of the gym with a blown lower back, torched CNS, and zero energy left for tomorrow's lift, you didn't build a Metcon, you built a trap. And you walked into it with pride. Welcome to Train Smarter, part of the Forge Grit series. We stop pretending that sweating equals progress and start building systems at work. Today we're diving into the art and science of how to build Metcons that don't kill your gains. Most people get this entirely wrong. Most Metcons are ego circuits in disguise. They're just chaos with squats, burpees, skipping pull-ups, barbell hill, and occasional prayer for recovery. Zero structure, zero intention, zero adaptation. That's not training, that's just fitness cosplay. And here's the deal. Metcons can work inside strength programs if they're structured around the right energy systems, and they don't interfere with muscle growth or recovery and are programmed with the same thought you give your main lifts. Today we're going to learn how to structure a Metcon that supports, not sabotages, your strength work, what energy systems you should be targeting and when, the do this not that of smart condition design, and examples of a few Metcons that don't fry your CNS into beef jerky. Let's burn the fluff, build the engine without burning your gains. Let's not sugarcoat it. Most Metcons are random, unrecoverable, poorly placed, and metabolically mismatched to your goals. Here's what usually goes wrong. First, you have no defined goal. Are you training aerobic capacity, anaerobic power, lactate tolerance, or just trying to sweat through your sins? Without clarity, you're just trashing systems at random. The second is high interference movements. What if you're doing high rep deadlifts, box jumps, and Olympic lifts and under fatigue like your spine has a warranty? These movements demand neurological freshness, not chaos in a clock. And then number 3, they might interfere with hypertrophy or recovery. If you're annihilating glycogen stores, disrupting recovery windows, and running AMRAPs the day after heavy squats, you're not building capacity, you're bleeding progress. And then there's always poor timing in microcycles. Conditioning played too close to lifting volume, especially lower body or CNS intensive Metcons, this will blunt your strength gains and muscle growth. So yeah, if your Metcon is just a CrossFit WOD knockoff named after someone's grandma, it's probably not helping you. Let's fix that. Look, you need to know which energy systems you should be training so you can program with intent. Are you training the ATP PC system? This is your explosive, great for sprints, heavy sled pushes, low rep explosive work, minimal interference with lifting, low volume, high output. You could be training your anaerobic glycolytic system. This is your burn zone for 20 seconds to 2 minutes, brutal, limited in duration. System crushes recovery if overused. Use it sparingly though. And then you have the aerobic. Low intensity cardio, zone 2, sustained output Metcons. This can support recovery, mitochondrial density, and endurance without trashing CNS. Smart Metcons target one zone per session. Trying to hit all 3 at once? Congrats, you just created a mess with no adaptation stimulus. Alright, let's get tactical for a second. Here's how to build smart Metcons using a do this not that approach. First mistake I see a lot is high rep barbell lifts under fatigue. Not that you can't do high rep barbell lifts, but it needs to be done specifically. So do this instead. Aim for low skill, low risk movements at higher heart rate. Examples of a few bad Metcons would be like 21-15-9 of deadlifts and box jumps, or Olympic lifts where form will break down. Smarter ones would be rower sprints with slam balls, bike sprints with push-ups, or kettlebell swings with burpees. This will work because you're removing the high coordination lifts and still driving conditioning. High output, low risk, you will keep your nervous system intact. Mistake number 2, random movement soup. You should probably be focusing on repeating rounds with clear intent. An example of random movement soup would be like 3 rounds of 25 wall balls, 15 cleans, 20 to-dos bar, 50 double unders, and a mile run. This is all over the place. Or even attention deficit circuit. A smarter programming would be like an EMOM of 20. We're doing 1 minute of 10 goblet squats, minute 2s, calorie ski, minute 3s, push-ups, and then rest. Why that works better is it has clear pacing, recoverable intensity, and repeatable effort. This all means sustainable progress. EMOMs are gold for mixed modal conditioning. Mistake number 3, conditioning after strength that uses the same muscles. So a mistake would be heavy squats that then lead into a Metcon with lunges, wall balls, and box jumps. You'll fry your legs twice and recover from neither. A smarter move is going from heavy squats to a Metcon with upper body bias, like ski erg, push-ups, or battle ropes, or split your days into a lift conditioning or AM/PM session. This works because you preserve stimulus separation and let each system adapt without overlap. Minimal interference equals maximal return. Mistake number 4, treating every Metcon like a max effort. You should focus on varying intensity throughout the week. So, example of a mistake here would be every day is AMRAP till I die. That's not training, that's a coping mechanism. A smarter way to do this is maybe do a low intensity one day, moderate intensity 2 days later, and then a high intensity interval session at the end of the week. This will train across energy systems, avoid CNS overload, and improve recovery and output. Periodization is not just for barbell bros. Here are 3 examples of smart Metcons built for different goals. If you are doing strength support, anaerobic power focus, your goal then is to maintain strength focus adaptation with short burst conditioning. The timing for this would be after upper body lift or on an off day. You can do an EMOM of 10 minutes, the odd being 10-second bike sprint with max effort, and then on the even minutes do 5 push-ups and 5 explosive med ball slams. So you can have a total time here of about 14. This is a high output full recovery, which means minimal interference with anything you do, but you still get your conditioning in. If your goal is to support recovery and improve mitochondrial efficiency, you're going to be doing an aerobic base builder, think zone 2. Separate these from lifting days or do an AM-PM split. You want to do a 30-minute steady pace, like on an assault bike or going for a run, and maybe 3 burpees every 2 minutes to break up the rhythm. You'll recover faster and build a real aerobic engine without all that junk volume doing it this way. If you're looking to improve work capacity without burning out, you do a mixed Metcon after your main lift 2 or 3 times a week. Your goal is to do something like 5 rounds for quality, not time. 10 goblet reverse lunges, 10 push-ups, 10 calorie skis, and then a 15-second hollow hold. And rest between rounds. Remember, it's not for time. Focus on tight form and steady breathing. Great for GPP blocks or phase transitions. You can't just plug in a Metcon whenever you want and expect magic. Here's how to actually program it. Make sure you're lifting first, conditioning second if it's in the same session. Because your main goal is strength, always lead with it. Conditioning should go after the lift or in a separate session altogether. Make sure you match the intensity to the week's demands. If you just maxed out your squats, don't do death circuits tomorrow. Planning heavy deads on Friday, then go light or aerobic on Thursday. If you are a lifter trying to stay conditioned without losing size, an athlete rebuilding endurance without wrecking your strength, or someone who loves the grit of conditioning but hates watching your gains shrivel, then smart Metcon structure is mandatory. This isn't about skipping the pain, it's about directing it. Controlled chaos beats random suffering. The right Metcon supports your strength goals. The wrong one will eat you alive. So stop throwing darts. Program like a surgeon, train the system, protect the stimulus, earn the adaptation. This is Dr. Matt, and we are grit and determined.